really putting yourself in the shoes of the end user and being able to make design decisions based around that. Any design decisions, color, typography, all of this stuff is based around what the end user needs. So everything in this room really was based and designed with an end user in mind. Like the doors you all came in through are 6 feet 8 inches tall by 3 feet wide. That's an architectural standard that's based around what we are considering the average human height. If humans were the size of cats, I'm sure the doors would be slightly smaller. Now, if the lights are shining at a brightness of around 300 to 500 lux, for those not familiar with light brightness units, that's based on what the human eye considers to be, comfortable brightness for indoor viewing. And that's based off of numbers. Even the chairs you're all sitting in are about 16 to 18 inches off the ground, and that's based around the average human dimensions. I know this because I looked it up. This is the chair design standards. We have, I'm going to call him Al, the average man, and he's very happy because this chair has been designed for the average man. And this is the perfect chair. There's no room. He's very happy. Problem being, when we design for Al, the average man, is that not everyone is average. This idea of average. Oh, women, it's absolutely, yes. Well, I'm just saying, for some reason they stuck a man in here and, I don't know. This actually is most of the case. We're designing for white middle-aged men.
Yes, not surprising.
Yeah, not surprising at all. So this is our end user. So if I'm designing a chair, I say, this is a good approximation for 80 to 90% of people who are going to be sitting in my chair. That's pretty good money, and that's pretty good odds, and if you don't fit my chair, then don't buy it. That's what it's a math problem at that point, this is the end user. Problem is, for hundreds of years, we've been designing for this average person. And this is not great. It started back in 1840, an astronomer by the name of Adolf Quetelet from Belgium. He's an astronomer. Technology in 1840 wasn't fantastic. It wasn't up to NASA standards, so he was measuring stars and celestial bodies with inherent error. So what you did as a scientist in 1840 was you took a large body of data, you did these longitudinal studies over time, and you averaged out your data in the best way you could. That way you had an idea of a trend, you could find patterns, et cetera, and it was well understood in the scientific world that taking averages was a very normal thing. But Quetelet decided that he could maybe port this over to a couple other things. He thought he'd be clever. And he came across this data set in 1840 of 6,000 numbers, basically an 1840 version of a spreadsheet, and it had the chest circumferences of 6,000 Scottish soldiers. Because back then, in 1840, when you joined the army, you got a uniform that was made for you. It was tailored specifically for you. There was no such thing as sizes, no such thing as a small, medium, large. They were tailored specifically to the shape of your body. That's where this data set came from. So Quetelet thought he'd be very clever, and he added all these up, 6,000 numbers, added them all up, probably hired an intern, because in 1840 it's a lot of work, and he divided by 6,000, and to get this average, he said, very, very prominently and proudly, that the average chest circumference of a human man is 39 3/4 inches. Very proudly, it's science. It was fantastic. And the idea was that he thought that humanity and the higher beings of the world were striving towards this average. And everybody outside of this average was error. This is crazy thinking at the time, but it really caught on and became a celebrity, 1850, 1860. So much so that a guy by the name of Abraham Lincoln really dug this idea, and he was losing a war, a very expensive war. Thousands and thousands of people are dying on the Union side. So he hires these scientists, these mathematicians, to basically do this giant study of his soldiers. To say, well, what are these people eating? What's their sizes? Give me as much information as you possibly can about these soldiers. And turns out, based off of this, all the measurements that he took of his soldiers, he created the first example of small, medium, and large military clothing sizes, where it all started. And it was a cost-effective way to fund a war. War is very expensive, and contrary to popular belief, militaries don't like to spend any more money than they have to.